So, how do you think microaggressions are prevalent in schools? Do you see them? And if so, how do they affect students in their learning?
Well, I don't even think we have microaggressions anymore in schools. I, I I just think folks now don't even try to hide it. I really don't. Discrimination, discriminatory acts, and then the reason why I say, and I'm being very negative about this, is because society and schools don't do anything about them.
Right.
So, you know, when you have teachers dressing up during Halloween with the Mexican sombrero and all that stuff.
Yeah, and the blackface.
Yeah, and the blackface.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I don't think white folks get it. Or maybe they do get it and they don't give a damn. But that's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem, man. It's not. There aren't microaggressions. They're just full blown. Yeah, they don't try to hide it, man. Yeah, which is sad. Which is really sad.
Yeah. So I know like your answer to this just because of the class, but like, how do you think the system, like the government system, bogs down races in school, or like discriminates?
Well, here's the thing. As we discussed in class, the No Child Left Behind and standardized exams, those are killing kids, and not just minority kids. It's killing all kids because it's taking out learning. So kids finish 12 years of school and they are not prepared to go to college. They're not. They know how to take a damn test, but they're not prepared to critically think. They can't write. And so now think about it. Now you got kids who are coming from nice schools who can't critically think and write. How do you think those kids who are coming from the rural areas and the inner city schools are? Just think about that.
Right.
So the great thing, I've been teaching in college now for 6 or 7 years, and whether I was teaching in Texas or I'm teaching here in Kansas, I find students lack writing skills, lack critical thinking skills, and it's all because in both places, Texas and in Kansas, we're stuck with these standardized exams. So that means that the teachers in our K through 12 schools cannot do what they really want to do, which is teach. They understand that they're up against these high stakes standardized assessments that they must do well on, or either they'll lose their job, or their school will have a problem, or the school district will have a problem.
Right.
So and that's something that's coming down from the government, because I guarantee you, if you let schools and school districts just take over teaching or education, you wouldn't have all these assessments. So you would allow teachers to teach. So, for instance, for me, when I was going to school, my history teacher spent 3 weeks on the Civil War. And when I was teaching in high school, I had 3 days. So you go from me as a student getting 3 weeks to as a teacher getting 3 days. So that's how bad we are today.
Yeah.
That's how bad we are. So there's no teaching and there's no learning really going on today.
Okay.
So yeah.
So do you think you encounter a lot of microaggressions in your personal life, or not so much, or like if you do?
Oh yeah,
really
I'm black, man.
Yeah.
I get it all the time from white women clutching their purse like I'm trying to get them, or when I walk across campus, I like to make eye contact with people and say hello. Yeah, and it's like, you know me. I can get along just by anybody, man. I don't care what color you are, but still, people see the color of my skin first, and so students or maybe faculty members around campus who don't know me, I think what they're seeing is a black man. And so like I've shared with Bobby. I love Bobby. He's probably one of the coolest cats that I know, and me and Bobby, we chop it up all the time. And you know, it's, you know, and maybe because Bobby's a different cat, but I think I wish I had that kind of relationship with Bobby that I have with other white people, but that it just doesn't work out that way.
Do you think maybe that's also because of like social class, like they see someone like you maybe and they think, oh, there's no way this guy's got to be sketchy. I don't know. Like,
No,
you know what I'm saying,
I mean
kinda?
that's a good point. There's that. I mean, y-
Like there's no way, like,
no, I mean it's funny. It's funny. You know, I remember my first couple of classes teaching here at KU. I the first couple of classes I saw the expression on some of the white kids' face when I walked in the classroom. It was like, really, this dude is teaching the class. And then the first couple of semesters, some of the black cats came up to me and said, "Man, we're so glad to see you, man." I said, "Oh yeah, y'all shocked. You have a brother teaching the class,
Yeah.
right?" So it's like that. So yeah, I mean, and that's because the stereotypes that we have in our country.
Right.
It's because of the racism that we have in our country. That there's no way a black man is going to be teaching in a college.
Right.
No way. It ain't. It's not happening.
yeah.
So, you know, now if I was a football player or athlete
Yeah.
or a singer, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's what black people do.
No, I was about to say, I feel like most
Yeah.
people assume like if you're black, then you're probably just an athlete going here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what?
That's what happened when I was at Texas. When I was a student at UT, I think every question I had when I was an undergrad was, "Oh, you play football here?" I said, "No." I said, no, I mean I used to play football in high school, but no, I don't play. No, I wasn't playing football at Texas. So I was a student. I was ROT. I was going through ROTC, and no, wasn't a football player. But you know that's the thing, because a lot of people just don't. They just think black guys can do only certain things. You know, so yeah.
Do you see any or face any microaggressions in your life, or do you see any, or not really? Like, you can say you don't if you don't, but
No.
no.
Not
Okay,
so
cool. So in class we talked about this thing called stereotype threat, and again, if you don't think this affected you, then you don't have to say it does. But basically, stereotype threat is like the stereotype for African American students is that they do poorly in school or they would do poorly on tests. So therefore they basically just have this mindset that they're gonna do bad, and therefore they fall in that trap and they don't try as hard, or they just feel like they're less likely to succeed. So do you think you felt that in any way, or not really? Like if you don't.
I don't think I've felt like that. I always just try to do the best I could in like all I do, whether it be school or sports, whatever I'm doing. So I always try to strive for excellence no matter what. I don't think it matters.
In the article, Promise in the Education of African American Males, it talks about all of the issues African American males have to deal with in the education system. It also talks about how teachers and professors treat African American males differently than white males, about how they respect each other, or like if they're listening to music, they will get called out rather than a white male. And you can see this today in classes at KU when African Americans will carry their headphones on their ears rather than just like taking them off, when they use like the big like beats, when like white males usually just use like the Apple headphones or like AirPods, so like you can't really see them. And there's a difference. And it also talks about what they have to go through in the school like system and like defy diversity, when professors and teachers don't think they'll do as good in a class or on a test, when they actually like will do just as good as a white male in a class.